Hello class, and welcome back to language arts time. As you can see, we've got some things to learn today. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Well, here's my penmanship book, and I'm going to look through and remember how I had told you about tracing the letters. I think that's very important to trace and then copy. So again, I can put it right over the letter, and I've done that. I already did it where I traced the letters, and they're printed bigger, but look at me as I trace these. You trace it. Trace it. I think tracing is important. And trace right on top of it. And then try to do one. Look at it, see how it looks, and see if you can make one look just like it does over there. Notice how that's shaped, okay? Maybe I should have started maybe just a tad more over there. You can always get better. And then the lowercase one, maybe you can come up with a word like the word lady. Then there's a K. I'm going to trace that, lift up. Notice the curve and the bend there in capital K. Lowercase k, start at the bottom, go up, just like an L, but go straight down. Don't curve at the bottom. Retrace, and then go like that. Maybe you can work the word, maybe someone's name that starts with a K. Maybe kitten, okay? And trace a row of those, then go to G. Up, down, up, down, up. It goes through, doesn't it? And then it comes out like that. Well, I didn't go right on top right there, did I? All right, but try to go right on top the best you can. Lowercase g. Just like that. And around and up like that. And try to do your own by looking. See if you can do it. Go through and then go into the next letter and do a lowercase g. And make it smaller, right? See if we can do a K here. And do a fabulous job. Lift up. Notice the bend there. Then go around. Again, I could have made my loop maybe a little bit bigger. There is one there. And then lowercase k. Notice how to do this part here. And then just go down like that. That's an art to that and getting it smooth. So you do that and keep practicing, practicing, practicing. Once you do that, let's review a little bit of our vocabulary words. Aristocratic, of royalty or nobility, of the best quality. He was of aristocratic descent. He was very a royal bloodline, like a king or queen. Correspondence, a person who exchanges letters with another. Correspondent. Someone that you write to. Oh, I had a correspondent, right? Or I was a correspondent to that newspaper or that magazine or whoever it was you were a correspondent to. I wrote some correspondence. There's another form of the word. Depot, a railroad or bus station. Depot, we went to the depot and hitched a ride, right? Gaunt, thin and bony. If you're very thin and bony, oh, the boy had not eaten much and looked quite gaunt. Needed to eat some more. Glistening, shining with reflected light. Glistening, the sun was glistening in the horizon. Obligation, a duty. Obligation, you have an obligation to your parents. You have an obligation to do your homework, right? Obligation, we all have obligations, things we need to do. Let's look over here. Resolution, a decision to do something differently. Resolution, I have a resolution. You know, people make New Year's resolutions where they resolve to do something different, to make a change. My resolution was to exercise every day, right? Shiftless, lazy, not having ambition. Shiftless. The shiftless boy failed to do his chores. Strive. To put forth great effort, strive. I will strive to do my best. I will strive to do the job well. I will strive to grow up and be whatever it is you strive to do. Waver, to go back and forth, to seem unsure. Waver, to go back and forth. If you waver in decision, you're going back on a decision you made. Or something can waver in the wind even, in that sense of the word, too. All right, so that's good. Keep learning those. Did you notice some of the words showing up in your reading stories? I think you did. Well, did you read The Willow Basket? This is an excellent story. In fact, it comes from a book, Caddy Woodlawn, a very famous story. And I encourage you, if you get the opportunity, to read that book. It's a very classic book, becoming quite a classic. And a lot of children are now reading that book about the Willow Basket, a fascinating story by Carol Ryrie Brink. And at the end of the selection from that book, you have some questions. Question number 1. What family had returned with all their belongings in a wheelbarrow? Do you know the answer to that question? You know, do you read it? Of course you read it, right? And you should have said the McKentries. Did you say the McKentries? Number 2, what gift did Emma give Caddy? What gift did Emma give Caddy? Special gift? And it was, of course, it was the willow basket. Did you say willow basket? You remembered what you read? You having good comprehension? What rule did Mrs. Woodlawn have for her children at the table? Quite a rule to have at a table. And did you say that they ate what was prepared at the table, or they went to bed hungry? Yeah, they'd say, look, you don't like what is prepared, you can go to bed without anything, or you can learn to eat it. And that's a rule we should all adopt at our homes. Not be wasteful. In your opinion, where had the 2 youngest McKentry children learned to be ungrateful? What do you think? It says in your opinion, but maybe there is an opinion that you probably have that's the same. I think it's probably from mother, so according to other things that happened in the story. But again, we're an example to others, and we want to be a good one. If you're the older brother or sister, you're an example to your younger brother and sister, and they'll do what you do. And so we want to be a good example at all times. Well, let's go ahead and go over what we've talked about. We have had some difficulty with these verbs right here. Now we have sit, sat, set, but we also have lie and lay, and this is the hard one for a lot of people. I'm going to be making a video just on that, so you be looking for it, and it'll be a special video just for lie, lay, sit, set, and those things, but particularly those ones, especially lie and lay. I want you to memorize this. Go back to the video. I've already taught this. Go back to the last few days at the language. And you can always skip ahead to that part of the video too and get to the language part. Look, lie, lying, lay, have lain. Memorize that. Lie, lying, lay, have lain. This is the present, what's happening now. This is the ing form of the word. This is the past tense. And this is the past participle tense, right? This means it already happened, past tense. This has or have with the verb. And if you ever see has or have, it's lain. It's lain. All right? Not what we normally hear, but the past participle is that. Lay, it already happened. So even though you're lying down, if it already happened in the past, you say lay. And that's the part that gets confusing because lay is another word with another meaning, to put or place something. So that's why it can get confusing. lay, put or place something. Lay, laying, laid, have laid. This one, have or has, laid, okay? The past is laid. This one's a little easier because it pretty much stays the same, especially here. Those are at least the same. And lay to laid, you tend to hear it that way, and we don't tend to hear this as we should. And so that's another reason why. A lot of times it's modeling what we hear. If we hear it correctly, we just say it correctly. For our other words, we just do it because we hear it the right way. Let's review. We've had these sentences before, but I think just going over and over and over them will help us out immensely. Lie does not require an object, but lay does. She does not like to lay her purse on the floor. You see that? She does not like to lay her purse on the floor, to put or place something. The dogs always lay their toys near their bowls. Lay. They put or place it, right? The fat cat likes to lie, all right, in the sun. Lie, resting or reclining. Yesterday he lay down. Notice it's lay, but they're meaning to lie, right? But it's lay because it's in the past, because it's yesterday. And so that one may cause some problems if we're not thinking about it. Don't leave dirty clothes lying around. There's the ing form. It's happening before our eyes. It's lying on the ground or lying around the house. The boy had lain. Notice the word had. If there's a had or has, it's lain. Lain in bed. He's resting or reclining. So notice lain, lain. He laid the book on the counter. Laid it. Lay, lain, laid. To put or place something. And hopefully those are getting better. The more you hear it, the more you see it. Notice the word accept and accept. Accept is the verb form. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of effect, wasn't I? Accept, to receive. Accept is other than or with the exception of, right? The exception of. I want this and this. I accept that. I want that, right? But I don't want that. So I want all of them except that one, right? Within the exception of that one. Affect and effect. Affect is the verb. It affected me, okay? But it had an effect on me. If it's used as a noun, like an or a the in front of it, then it's effect. If it's a verb, an action word that you're doing, it's affect with an A, so don't forget that one. Beside a lake, beneath the trees, right? Besides, other than, there's no one here besides us, right? Other than us, right? How about this? Between is two people, but among the three boys, but between the two of them, right? Got some upside down here. Let's turn them back around the right way. Burst, to break. Bust is a sculpture from the chest up, right? Bust. Even though there's a lot of people using the break, they're using bust that way now. A lot of people are using it that way, but the preferred, proper way is burst. It broke, it burst. Did not bust. It burst. Bust is a noun. Burst is a verb. With the exception of, there are a few exceptions of the word bust. There are a few exceptions, but for practical purposes, we'll stick with these for our book. Helping verb, have. Of is a preposition, so we should have done it, not we should have done it. We should have done, we hear people say that all the time. I probably said that too. We should have done it, not of. Not of done it. Of is a preposition that has an object. Would we say of done? No, we'd say of the two, right? Or of the lake, right? Some of the leaves, right? But have is a verb. We should have done it. Less or fewer. Less cannot be counted. Fewer can. Fewer pieces of candy, I keep saying. Fewer cookies on the plate than before we started. But there's less meat on his plate. Unless they were cut into pieces and you could count the pieces. But there's less, you know, you can't really count the amount, right? Less food on the plate. It's not things you're counting. Get off the couch. Stand up. Get off the couch. Don't say get off of. Try to do your best. Not try and try to. Wait. Let's wait for them to catch up. Let's wait for them to catch up. We don't say let's wait on them to catch up. No, we wait for them. But to wait on someone is to serve. The waiter or waitress or server waited on them, right? And now we're back to the beginning. So hopefully those help, and they are solidifying in your mind quite well. Now, if you look at what I've got on the board here, you see that? Look at what we've got on the board for today. I don't think this will be too hard, but it is what is new today. You still see me if I stand up? Look right here. There, two. I've actually mentioned this to you earlier this year. Who remembers? Raise your hand if you remember my doing this, going over this before. So you should be able to do this in your book today on the pages for today, which will be, I believe, 249 and 250. That talks about there and to. Yes, as I take a peek. There, T-H-E-I-R. Let's know the difference between them and not confuse them. It's a possessive pronoun. Their house, their car. Notice the spelling. T-H-E-I-R. Their home, their dog. It shows ownership. Possessive. Possession is something you own. Possessive shows ownership. It's a possessive pronoun like her or his. There. This there has a contraction, or is a contraction. It has an apostrophe. It's the contraction for they are. They're coming to our house today. They're coming to our house today. They are coming to our house today. So we can put the word are there. That's what that apostrophe means. The letter A was actually left out and smushed into one word like an Oreo cookie. All right? So they are, they're coming. There, adverb telling where. It also can be an introductory word like, there once was a little girl who lived in a castle, right? There. There once was, a story start that way, there. Or, she's over there. She's over there. Here's your body in the chair, but your mind is over there. There, telling where. Where? There. Right, so we understand that, hopefully. To. To is a preposition. To the house. We walked to the house, right? To the yard, to the garage, right? To the store, to the tree, right? Preposition, and there's an object after the preposition, to. Often showing direction or relation. To me, right? To me. She gave it to me, right? To. To is an adverb. It was too hot. How hot? Too hot. Right? I want one too, or also. It's an adverb as well. T-O-O. So think of too hot, or I want to go to, in excess, to, T-O-O. There's too many, there's double ones, right? There's too many, there's two O's. That might help you remember that one. Two, of course, the number two, you know, T-W-O, is a number used as a noun or pronoun. Two birds were flying in the sky. I got 2 treats today. Two, T-W-O. So do that, know that. Let's review. Let's review. The bird hurt its wing. The bird hurt its wing. Spell its. Did you say ITS? Its wing, not the one with the apostrophe, because that means it is, right? How about this? Where is your book? Spell the word your. Good. Y-O-U-R. Who said that? Good. You're the only one who is going. Spell it. Did you say Y-O-U apostrophe R-E? How about this? It's almost time for lunch. Did you say I-T apostrophe S? If so, you are correct. Here's a few more. She is or are going to the store. She is or are going to the store. She is going to the store. Did you get it right? Did you get it right? The birds in the tree, does or do sing loudly. The birds do. Sarah and Sue was or were? Were. Are you getting them right? Are you shouting them out before I say it? Here is or are 3 eggs in a nest. Did you say are? Remember, is here the subject? No. What is the subject? Eggs. Here are 3 eggs. And since eggs is plural, you use are, the plural form. Lie or lay on the couch. Lie or lay on the couch. You should say lie on the couch if you want to take a nap, if you're allowed to. Okay? I am lying my book down or I am laying my book down. You should have said laying my book down to put to place. The boy lay or laid on the couch all day. The boy lay or laid on the couch all day. You should have said lay. Lie, lying, lay. It's in the past, so he lay. He did not laid, that's to put a place. He lay or laid the book on the desk. He lay or laid the book on the desk. He laid the book on the desk. The tree has lain there for years, or the tree has laid there for years. Maybe the tree fell down and the tree has lain there for years. Lie, lying, lay, have lain. But you put a place, you set something when you laid, right? If something is laid. No one except John may come. How would you spell except? No one except John may come. Would you say accept or except? Except, E-X-C-E-P-T, except, an exception, accept him. I sit beside her at school or I sit besides her at school. I sit beside her at school. Good job. There are less jelly beans in the jar today. There are fewer jelly beans in the jar today. Can you count the jelly beans? Then you should say fewer jelly beans. Please wait on me by the door, or please wait for me by the door. You should have said wait for me by the door. Your attitude will affect those around you or affect those around you. Would it be A-F-F-E-C-T or E-F-F-E-C-T? Yes. Your attitude will affect. It's used as a verb, isn't it? Affect. A-F-F-E-C-T. Affect with an E is a noun. So I want you to memorize those. A, used as a verb, affect. E, affect or effect, noun. right, so you go ahead and do page 214, 9, 250, and yes, do those for today. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You take care, and God be with you, and do a super job. And we'll see you in the next video.